Hi, we're here at the WiT Studio. My name is Hari and I'm responsible for lodging for Expedia Group. And I am delighted to have Erick out here with us. Erick is a fellow advocate of all things travel. Here is what I know about Erick. He is the founder of tours and attractions for the booking platform Klook. Erick, you are from Mauritius.
Yep.
You consider Hong Kong and Singapore your home.
Yes.
You speak 7 languages. Is there anything else fun that you think your audience should know about you?
Well, I think you've said it all. Well, I've lived in the States before I came over to Asia. So I would say that I'm kind of a melting pot of different cultures.
True
And
citizen of the world.
that's what I aspire to be.
You know, I was doing some research on you, and there is one quote that you've mentioned, which I'd like to read, that really struck a chord with me. And this is you being quoted in a media interview with Straits Times, where it says, if people travel more, there will be less misunderstanding amongst countries, politics, and culture. I think it is just fabulous what you've just said. So welcome, thanks for joining us again. I have a couple of questions for you. So let's start with the quote, because I feel it is most kind of relevant in today's experience in travel, and it'll be interesting to know more about that. So question first is on the recovery. So we all know travel is a force for good. But as the borders open, what role do you see traveler experience playing in the greater recovery effort? How are people thinking differently about travel? Are they thinking differently about travel?
Yeah. Well, I think even before COVID, there's this new trend where experience is becoming almost like the new currency. And I would say that after the pandemic, this is becoming even more true. If you think about it, over the last 2 years, locked at home or locked in your own country, you can have pretty much everything that's material, whether it's, ordering from Amazon or over here in Asia from Shopee, all the material goods, right, etc. But experience, especially when you go to a foreign land, having that type of different experience, that's been really lagging. So I think this is going to be really what will get people back on the road to really have that vibe and the joy of traveling again.
That's fantastic. Well, travel is back. They call it revenge travel, all kinds of travel. I think we all can do with a dose of travel in our lives. So I have another question for you. So the industry struggled a lot during the pandemic, but what many players use this opportunity is to really increase the pace of innovation through technology. Do you think this is just a fad, or this is a new pace and a trend in terms of investments in technology in the world of travel? What's your take on it?
Well, I think this topic is actually very relevant for the tourism activities space, because if anyone who has been following the industry, flights, hotels have been quite digitized already over the last decade or so. But tourism activities has definitely the one been lagging behind. And I would say that a lot of the merchants that we've been working with, especially the SMEs, the small and medium enterprises, they've indeed taken advantage of the 2 years of quote unquote downtime to really bring in technology to solve a lot of the problems, for example, contactless, ticketing, etc. So that has definitely evolved and accelerated. Now that COVID is, in some way settle, right? People are getting back on the road. I would say that the merchant is now indeed spending a bit more time now instead on the service, on delivering the actual experience. But technology is going to be still at the core of it in terms of enabling it to happen easier and it's smoother.
Fantastic. So we are going to go into the second topic, and that is on Asia, closer to home,
Yes.
if you will. So Asia, or APAC, for the most part, dealt with just tighter international border restrictions as compared to the rest of the world, particularly US, which is home for me, and in Europe. But with that in mind, are there different challenges for this region as to rebuild traveler confidence when it comes to coming to Asia?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think looking back, definitely, I think that has been one of the bottlenecks to a faster recovery that we all hope for Asia. But if you at this point of time, you've now heard about North Asia has pretty much reopened, with the exception of China. But hence, if you look at across Asia, most of those rules has already been taken down. So I think looking forward, travel is going to be indeed now on a really strong recovery.
Got it. And I'd love for you to think about through the lens of activities and experiences. So does that make this region less marketable, easier to market? What is your take, particularly as it comes to attractions and experiences?
I actually think that it's I wouldn't say easier to market, but it's actually a lot more interesting. There's a lot more things happening. I mean, just think about it, because Asia has so much more different cultures, right? And the cultures are so distinct as well. So on a trip to Asia, let's say for the audience in the US or Europe, you are really going on an adventure because of the different cultures, the food is so different, etc. So I think there's just more that we can work with, and it's just a lot more fun and joyful.
There's a lot to do in Asia. Asia is not a country. It's made up of a lot of, small microcosms. Third topic, it'll be really interesting to get your perspective on a few things. One is, what is the one area of travel you believe deserves the biggest level of investment?
Well, I would say that one area that we already been working with is indeed the digitization of the tours and activities, right? So no more queuing, no more buying at the counter and getting a physical ticket, etc. But I think there's the next big thing that we kind of also really want to solve, but I think we'll need different parties to come together, is the currency. Meaning, how do you go across different countries not needing to go and exchange your currency, and also in some cases still you need to pay in cash. So that is something that I think we'll need to solve to make travel a lot more frictionless.
Got it. Second one, what are the three biggest shifts you anticipate that we'll see in the traveler booking journey? I know you're pretty passionate about that subject, so let's hear that.
Yeah. So what I would say is indeed, how the world of travel booking may start shifting towards not just starting always from flights, hotels, and activities, because at the end of the day, you're traveling for the experience. So how does inspiration of activities come into play actually earlier in the funnel, and may eventually actually bring in hotels and flights later on as that? I think that will be quite an evolution as people think about travel as an experience, but not travel as a utility.
Got it. And my favorite question is, if you left behind one legacy for the travel industry, what would it be and why?
The legacy I would really want to leave is the fact that you can go around every single destination just using one app, and you feel like as a local. So earlier you started the interview as a global citizen. To me, what is a global citizen means? It means that when you go to different countries, you don't feel like there's friction, whether it's language, currency, etc. So that one app that can able to take care of you everywhere, and so that you can really enjoy every single country or every single destination of the world.
That is awesome. Erick, thank you so much for your time
Thank you.
and sharing your perspective with all of us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.